Hi, my dear ones. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maria, and this is a channel about spirituality, consciousness, energy, alchemy, the secrets of the universe. Welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about physical symptoms of awakening. When we go through awakening, our spiritual awakening, that is, our physical bodies have to catch up to what is going on at the energy level. Very often, humans would have very similar physical symptoms around what awakening actually feels like. So, today I will be sharing certain things that I have personally experienced and other things that I have observed within the collective consciousness of humanity as well around awakening symptoms. One thing to keep in mind about awakening is this: when you are in your dormant state, or quote unquote normal state, which is what most human beings experience, certain energy centers of your body, or certain, shall we say, centers of your body, are being underutilized. It's like a path where nobody walks. The path still exists, but there's no traffic there. As you're going through your awakening journey, certain pathways become activated. Now there is traffic on those pathways. So certain upgrades have to happen, right? Because if you are all of a sudden, a particular energy center is starting to fire up on all cylinders, whereas there was no activity there before, your physical body is going to have to catch up to that activity. That very often, on the physical level, translates as a certain level of discomfort, tingling, or even pain. And so today I'm going to be walking you through some of the very common symptoms of awakening or post-awakening. Now, I think one thing we need to do is take it with a grain of salt, right? Because for a lot of people, awakening is not a one and done type of process. It is a process that is an ever unfolding journey that could last for many, many years, right? So if you are going through a process of awakening, it doesn't mean that all of these symptoms are going to hit you all in one go. It doesn't mean that you're going to get every single one of the symptoms. And also, it doesn't mean that the list that I'm providing here is an all-encompassing list. You may have your own symptoms that I'm not going to be talking through here. All right, well, first things first, some of the lighter things that you're going to experience are the tingling. So this is with all of your energy centers are beginning to get activated. Specifically, your heart chakra through the crown chakra. That pathway, it generally tends to be activated when you go through awakening. Also, your minor chakras are becoming activated. So the chakras in the center of your palms as well as the soles of your feet. So those four will most likely get activated. What does this mean? Most likely, you're going to start feeling slight tingling sensation around the middle of your palms as well as the soles of your feet. When I had the chakras on my hands awaken in this incarnation, it felt pretty intense. I felt like an eye opened up in the middle of my palm, kind of like the Hamsa hand, if you guys know what I mean. And literally, it started blinking like this. And then it was just like massive tingling and like energy started moving. I could feel it. So you may experience that in multiple parts of your body. It doesn't have to be the hands. It doesn't have to be the soles of your feet. If you guys have ever had, sometimes when like you're sleeping in an uncomfortable position and then like your hand goes numb because the blood doesn't circulate properly. And then there's this, when you come back or like say you wake up and you're like, oh, my arm is dead. And then, blood starts circulating. There's this uncomfortable moment where like the sensation goes back into your limb. It's kind of like how it feels when the energy all of a sudden starts circulating in certain parts of your body where it wasn't before. It's kind of like all those parts of your body they're awakening, right? So they're becoming activated. So tingling sensations all over the body. Actually, I had uncontrollable shivers for about the first 3 days post my awakening, and I got like shivers down my spine specifically, so that the column down my spine, especially when I started getting messages. So any kind of tingling in your spinal cord area is completely normal. It's one of the symptoms. Then stretching, or shall I say, the need to stretch things out. can be pretty acute in some folks. Why is that happening? Your etheric body, your energy body, is expanding, right? So think of it as we are a vessel, we are a receptacle for energy. But when we are in our dormant state, we're maybe getting 1 to 5% of energy that we're supposed to be getting inside of our vessel, right? Both physical as well as energy vessel. When you're awakening, all of a sudden, all this energy starts pouring into your body, and your body needs to be able to receive it. Our bodies then would naturally want to expand, right? Because our bodies actually, we're not finite, not energetically. Yes, the physical aspect of our bodies looks like it has a beginning and end, so to say, right? Like we all have the height and, we kind of have parameters, but our energy bodies are a lot more malleable. They are a lot more stretchable. And so your energy body is actually going to go through a process of stretching and in expanding and enlarging. As your energy body is going through that, your physical body is going to want to do that as well. So very often, you're going to want to stretch things out. In the morning, in the middle of the day, very randomly, even in the middle of the night, you may wake up and be like, oh my God, I need to stretch. And very often you would know exactly what part of your body needs to be stretched. It's the neck or, the hands or the back. So random parts of your body. And it's kind of like a never-ending story. There's a lot of stretching at the beginning post-awakening. So that's that. For some of you, what you may experience is your wings, your etheric wings waking up. Think of them as angel wings. Now, not every soul has angel wings. A lot of souls do. And so for some of you, you may experience these wings coming to life and becoming activated. And that causes pretty significant back pain, and that's actually completely normal. So your energy body is adjusting to the weight of your wings. When my wings manifested themselves for about 2 to 3 weeks, I had some pretty bad pain around, in pretty much all over my, in my back, but mostly around shoulder blades. So where the two wings attach around the shoulder blades. So there's a lot of discomfort in the shoulder blade area. What I found helpful with that is also if you stretch things out, that's also really, really helpful. And then it goes away, right? It's our bodies get used to everything. And so you get used to carrying your etheric wings. The next thing that I find is pains or certain aches associated with different parts of your body where the chakra is becoming activated. So you would generally start in your heart area. That is considered the first higher chakra or the bridge chakra. And very often people who are going through awakening symptoms where their heart is waking up would get different symptoms around the irregularity of heartbeat. So very often you're going to have heart palpitations or just you're going to feel like you're hyperventilating out of nowhere, but it's actually your heart, the physical part, right? The physicality of your heart, getting used to your etheric heart, your energy heart becoming a more high trafficked area of your body, if that makes sense, right? So it may feel like it needs to work extra. It needs to be in overdrive in order to be able to receive all of those energies. The next part of the body that generally aches is the throat. When when my throat area started being expanded through the process of awakening, especially when my assemblage point started moving to the throat area, my throat was in pain for weeks at a time. And it feels like you have a really, really bad sore throat, but it's not a sore throat. And it doesn't go away until your physical body expands to the level that it is able to and meant to expand to. So be ready for that fun aspect, especially if you're going to go through the assemblage point shifting to the throat area. Third eye awakening causes some pretty interesting symptoms. Third eye awakening causes generally it's a headache actually. So with third eye, you're gonna get a headache in the temples and the frontal part of your skull. It's kind of like a dull headache, and it ebbs and flows. So it's not like a forever headache, but you may get it like really bad, like for 30 to 40 minutes, and then it dissipates, and then it can come back again. So it's a little bit of the ebbs and flows of the headache. And I mean, depending on how much work your pineal gland needs done on itself, those headaches can be fleeting, or they can be with you for some time, depending on how much needs to be cleared and cleansed in the physical. There is also an interesting pain, but that is kind of like, this is not a one and done kind of pain, but the more you go down your spiritual journey, there's like this interesting symptom that ends up happening around your crown center. So where your crown chakra is, right, like right on top of your head, there's also the crown part of your head. And there's like a round spot in there, about maybe like 1.5 inches in diameter. It becomes very, very tender. And it's almost like when you touch it, like it really is actually painful to touch it. And you feel like instead of being hard, it's almost like there's a bubble there on top of your head, for the lack of a better term. And that pain feels like you just hit your head and it's bruised, but it's not bruised and you didn't hit your head. And sometimes it lasts for like months. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to scare you, because like none of this is meant to be like, oh my God, you're gonna awaken and you're gonna go through all of these madness. It's actually really not that bad. And most of this pain, most of these physical symptoms are actually very, very manageable. It is just fascinating to me how much the energy body that we cannot see impacts the physicality of who we are, and the things that we can see and the things that we can feel. So don't you worry. All of these symptoms are very, very manageable. One thing I will tell you, which is, I don't know if that counts as a physical symptom, but very often when you go through awakening, one thing that's going to happen is your spirit guides are going to start sending you quite a number of light codes. This is going to start happening on autopilot automatically. Even above and beyond your spirit guides. When you awaken, you develop a one-to-one communication with the rest of the universe. So this is a relationship that goes both ways. What does that mean? That means that you are constantly transmitting as well as constantly receiving massive amounts of information into the universe. This is a completely normal process. What would happen quite naturally with you at night, you would start downloading massive amounts of light codes. All kinds of things. Memories from your past lives, memories about the future, things and factoids about the mission, your to-do list in terms of your spiritual development. It could be things that are planetary level or galactic level type information, as well as certain codes that you need to unpack and receive so that you could develop even further. When that happens, it's actually a very interesting sensation when you sleep, because on the one hand, very often that happens when you sleep is what I mean, right? Some of it, small chunks of it, can come through when you are in your awakened state, but very often it happens when you sleep. So when you fall asleep, it is actually completely normal for hours to feel like you're in this borderline state when you're not really fully awake and when you're not really fully asleep. But it feels like your body is being, like the physical body as well as the energy body, is being physically bombarded with massive amounts of light codes. And your body needs to get used to the sensation, because it can come through tingling, or it could just come as, like, it feels like hard work, actually. You're sleeping, but your body feels like it's really, really hard at work. This is completely normal if you're experiencing something like that. Very often this happens when your guides have a large patch of codes for your body to upload. In other words, it's not a forever thing. It comes and goes. So there are short spurts when that's going to happen. For me, for instance, when I was awakening, the first 3 weeks were all about receiving the codes, then expanding my light bodies to receive some more codes. And so when I would go to bed, I would feel like my etheric body was being stretched in all kinds of directions. And there would be like 8 to 12 beings at a time working on my etheric body, stretching things out so that I could receive more codes. So if you experienced anything like that, or you experienced your etheric wings coming out and surprising you, do drop me a comment. Let me know if you've experienced any of these awakening symptoms. Also, please let me know if you've experienced anything else. I would love to, learn about your stories and your experiences as well. Alrighty, thank you guys. I hope this was helpful. If you are going through the process of awakening, I hope you're not freaking out. This is a beautiful thing. It's a once in a lifetime kind of experience. And I do hope that you share your story with me. Alrighty, well, I'm sending you a big virtual hug and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.